All right, so in this video, I'm going to take my time and talk about all the items that we have on the menu for the app. So every single thing the app does, I'm going to talk about it. So we're going to start from the bottom, from setup through to accounting and reports. All right, so let's start with that, okay? So number one is setup. So setup means that you now have the application for the first time and you want to key in the items that you sell or the services that you offer. So you go to setup, you can use your mouse by double clicking on the setup. You can click on the plus sign here that will drop it down, or you can just double click on it, to drop down as well. So we go to product setup. So product setup talks to the things that you have in the shop that you want to sell. So this allows you to keep them in the system. It will give you a nice table with all the items that you have. You'd have the cost price, the selling price, you'd have the categorization of all the items, and everything goes here. And then we have our clients and accounts set up. So basically that's number two. So clients and accounts basically addresses, the clients that you engage or the customers that you engage, the suppliers as well, and then some bit of accounts that you use to manage the shop, like the expense accounts, the fuel accounts, these salary accounts that you use to pay salaries and stuff like that. So any accounts you want to create and use to monitor transactions, you can create it here. Your customers, your suppliers, they all come here. We have the product suppliers. So product suppliers doesn't really do anything. When you're purchasing, the application keeps track of those who are supplying you with those products. So then it gives you some good information about them, and you can know the last time they supplied you, the next time they want to supply you, and stuff like that. So that's quite simple and straightforward. So apart from that, so we go to the next one. So the next one will be B. Okay, so B, I'll double click on it, and we have point of sale. Point of sale basically is the interface that you use to sell. It's a very simplified version of the solution where when customers come to you, you sell to them. When they pick items and they bring to you to actually key into the system, you just use the point of sale to just key in the items to the system and take money from the customer. So this is where you sell to the customer. We have product purchases, which is basically, so that's two, basically you buying stuff and stocking the business. So you have gone out there, bought from suppliers, so you make purchases and you are bringing them into the shop. We have product sales detail. This is basically you selling to customers just like the first one, just like number one. So number one and number three are the same. But this time, the number three gives you more features. It allows you to sell on credits. It allows you to capture the information about the customer. It allows you to set the payment date of the customer, the date the customer has promised to pay you if you bought on credits and stuff like that. So that one is much more detailed and more like an enriched or enhanced version of selling. Okay, so for customers who buy on credits and customers that you want to keep their names and accounts, this is where you go to do that. We also have sales quotation, or what we call the pro forma invoice. That's number 4. So number 4 is when you want to just give customer quotations on, some purchase he wants to make or some item he wants to buy without necessarily selling it from the system. The customer only wants to see the pricing and the discount that will be applied, the tax that will be applied and stuff like that, so that he knows or has the fair idea of what it is that the amount will be if he's ready to buy the items. So this is for product movement, which is B. So we go to C, which is performance reports. So we'll talk about the customer performance reports, which is basically performance by customers. So all customers that came into the shop to buy, if you save their information, it will rank them based on the number of times they've visited the shop, how much money they've actually given you, how much profit you made from them. The same applies to, that's number 2, the products. So products can also be performance. So we can know which product is performing quite well, which product is actually being bought, how many times has that product been bought, and stuff like that. And number 3 is the purchase summary. This is to summarize all the purchases you've done so far, from which supplier, the date and all that. It summarizes everything, so you know how many times you bought from a particular supplier, and anything related to that supplier. That does that for you. We have sales deleted and sales modified. So this 3 and 4, they're basically the same thing. So what happens is, when you have a teller, or when you have a cashier who deletes items, you allow the cashier to delete items. This report captures everything that they've deleted or modified, so that when you come back to the shop, or you want to do some review or some audit, you can see all the transactions that were deleted in the system. So this is a feature that allows you to see everything that has been taken out of the system. We have sales performance report. Basically, what sales performance report does is, so that's number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Number 6 on the item is just to let you know on a daily basis how much sales you're making, how much profits you're making, how many customers visited the place, and on monthly basis the same, on yearly basis the same. So this report has the ability to aggregate or to consolidate the results daily, monthly, and yearly. So you get to see on those line items like days, months, and years how the shop is performing. We have user performance reports, which is basically how the cashier, if you have more than one cashiers, how they perform in terms of the sales they're making. You give you a count of how many customers they've served, and to give you a count of the total amount of profits they made you, and stuff like that. And then we have D is basically cash movement. So anytime D1 is anytime cash is moving into the business, it captures it. And anytime cash is leaving the business, it captures that as well. So leaving is all the expenses that you make. You pay for water bill, electricity bill, some delivery guy. For the business sake, you use this to capture that, because the money left the business. And this one is when anyone is making payments to you. So we have someone paying you some X amount of money, maybe he bought on credit and he's not coming to pay you. This is where you capture that into the system. So we have E. So we have E1, we have employee management, where you set up all the employees you work with, the cashiers. You have fields that can capture their high days, the pay grade they're on, how much salary you pay them, and stuff like that. And that can be captured and stored here. And when a profile is set up, they might not be able to see this particular item. Only you might be able to see. So E2 is the profile setup. So this is basically setting up, the rights of the cashiers, what they can do, what they cannot do, who are the rights to see what, profits would they want to be accessible by cashiers. Only you, the owner, can access them, and stuff like that. So that's for E2. Then we have D. So D1 is account balances. This gives you all the balances in your books, your sales, your cash, your customers, those who owe you. You get to know a summary of all the balances that they have with you. Okay, we have the balance sheet report, which is an accounting report that gives you how the business is standing, in terms of your assets and your liabilities. We have journal, which is typically for an accountant to use to see all debits and credits that happen in the system. We have profit and loss reports, which is also an accounting report that lets you know how much profits or how much loss you made in any period of time. So basically, this is a short video that outlines, the menus. So these are the main things the app does. So every single thing that you're thinking of to do with this app, you can find this in the menu here. So this is a short video on that. Thank you.